Denver's mayor ran on building tiny home villages for the homeless. Now he's getting rid of one for an approach he says works better.
I'm just waiting for someone to tell me where to move to.
A lot of big money's trying to convince Denver's voters to keep a ban on flavored tobacco. A smaller university in Colorado is mercilessly roasting elite higher education, attempting to appeal to students who don't think college is for them.
Want straight A's but hate going to class? Not a problem. A well-placed gesture from your family.
Hi, Daddy.
Can smooth the way and ensure your success.
And the most dangerous rock in Aurora is gone. But the drivers who couldn't avoid it are still all around us. So be careful. This is next. Denver's mayor ran on ending homelessness through tiny home villages around the city. But once in office, Mayor Mike Johnson quickly shifted his approach to converting hotels into homeless shelters. And now, one of those tiny home villages is being converted into permanent affordable housing. Critics told our Angeline McCall they're concerned about losing that resource before the housing is available.
For so many residents, this is a first home with a porch to themselves.
I got some telemark skis. I don't know how to do it yet.
Daniel Miller has lived at the Monroe Tiny Home Village for about 5 months.
It's really nice having a place to go to and stay. About a month ago, they started spreading rumors that the place was closing.
Those rumors turned out to be true. They'll close by June 2026.
I was kind of worried about it. I don't know where I'm going to go after this.
Residents here know what it's like to move again.
I'm not trying to run away from this place. This is like my safety net right now. Like I said, it kind of gives me some anxiety to know that when the director told us that we had 7 or 8 months.
Orinthian Bohannon said this tiny home model has been more helpful to him than other shelters.
The staff here is amazing, and the residents are just like me trying to figure it out.
Colorado Village Collaborative that runs this tiny home village say they learned the news about a month ago.
A lot of frustration and confusion.
CEO Jessica Inger has also learned they'll lose the city funding.
This location specifically has been tagged for affordable workforce housing, which we are 100% in favor of. However, one of our requests has been with City Council to see if there's an option for us to stay at this location until that development process starts.
It's part of the next phase for All in Mile High, increasing permanent housing. The city says it will find new housing or shelter for the people here.
So not only are we losing the 45 beds here, but we're also creating a greater burden for all the other providers across the city.
Without city funding, though, it will be hard to operate at its current scale.
Even though it's 9 months out, we're already starting to feel the pressure of if we are going to move this site, we really need to know where we're moving to. We need to start coordinating that process ASAP.
They say they've received little clarification from the city, leaving them unclear of what's next, and residents knowing what was already a temporary solution may be even more short-term.
This place will always be in my heart no matter what there's a 7-Eleven here in a year and a half. I'll always remember number 25 was mine.
The city says the Colorado Village Collaborative's lease on that site was up in the summer anyways, but the organization says it knew they would have to move because of funding. What they didn't know was that the funding would be pulled and they would no longer be considered part of the All in Mile High program, jeopardizing the site and the overall scale at which they could operate.
And I mean, one thing that's become obvious through years of reporting on homelessness in Denver is that different approaches are going to connect with different people. Different folks are going to feel safe in different environments.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the concerns, right, for the organization is that some of the people who are currently in this tiny home village, they may not accept shelter elsewhere. And so while the city says, we'll give everyone that option, I mean, will they take it, I think is the question. And then where do they end up?
Angeline McCall, thank you. A few minutes ago, some of the people forced to leave their homes by massive flooding around Pagosa Springs were allowed back. Some of the evacuations in Pagosa proper and in La Plata County nearby, those are still in place. Since the flooding started early Saturday morning, 90 homes have been damaged around Vallecito Reservoir. Some are standing in 2 feet of water. In Pagosa Springs itself, the San Juan River rose out of its banks, flooding parts of downtown. The governor's issued a state of emergency, and the state says it's flying planes and helicopters to survey the damage. There's a high chance for more rain tomorrow, so the shelter set up by the Archuleta County Sheriff's Office will stay open. The U.S. Supreme Court is declining to weigh in on the case of a family from Colorado who claims their school district talked to their child about their gender identity behind their backs. It is the third setback in the court system for the parent-turned-conservative activist who brought this case against Poudre School District. The Supreme Court justices declined to hear the case, with some members of the conservative majority saying that the allegations are troubling, but agreeing that the case should not be reviewed by the Supreme Court. The parent involved in the case, a woman named Erin Lee, has also organized some failed statewide ballot initiatives about trans kids. She's described her work as a quote-unquote spiritual battle to cover children in the blood of Jesus. Voters in Denver are deciding whether to keep the city's ban on selling flavored tobacco products. The people pushing it, backed by an out-of-state billionaire, say that this is about community health. Opponents of the ban say it's government overreach and a financial risk. Our Mark Salinger takes a closer look at Referendum 310.
So Bill 1765 has passed.
The story of Referendum 310 begins inside the Denver City Council chambers last December. Council banned the sale of flavored tobacco products in Denver, and the mayor soon signed it. Less than a year later, voters could repeal it. A yes vote on Denver's Referendum 310 means flavored tobacco products will continue to be banned. A no vote means more than 550 businesses across the city will again be allowed to resume selling the products. Advocates say the ban is about health. The campaign supporting the ban has been endorsed by national health organizations, along with Denver Public Schools. It's also been bankrolled heavily by former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, who's helped fund anti-tobacco campaigns across the country.
Flavored tobacco serves as a gateway for young people to develop lifelong addictions, leading to devastating health consequences.
But business owners that sell flavored tobacco products say it would drive them out of Denver.
The effect it'll have is we'll probably be looking for new locations.
People on the right see it as government overreach. People on the left see it as a bad economic decision in the middle of hard financial times. Banning flavored tobacco would cost the city more than $10 million in sales tax revenue, according to groups advocating for the repeal.
The process has just been so unfair to retailers and distributors in the city of Denver.
But the mayor and city council members have argued that health is more important.
We're not unsympathetic to the impacts or possible impacts that this may have on some businesses.
Now it's up to voters to decide whether the sale of flavored tobacco products will continue to be banned in Denver.
Business owners I've spoken with say if the ban moves forward, they'll move out of the city of Denver, across city lines to places like Englewood, for example, which still allow those sales. They believe people would still be willing to drive an extra 10, 15 minutes, whatever it takes, but argue that Denver would just miss out on that tax revenue, Kyle.
I mean, goodness knows we got people driving all the way to Wyoming for fireworks.
Exactly. And there are cities, a bunch of cities all around Denver that haven't banned flavored tobacco. So their belief is that, well, we'll just move out of the city of Denver. People will drive 10 minutes and they'll still consume it if they want to.
All right, ballots are in hands now. It's up to Denver's voters. Mark, thank you.
Welcome to Featherstone University, or FU for short.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Did you say FU?
Yes, FU.
F me?
No, honey.
FU.
A spoof of elitism in higher ed is one university's new pitch to bring in students convinced that college is not for them. And the boulder that went viral for rocking drivers' worlds is gone. But the problem still remains. Trust me, it does. That's next. Let's talk with meteorologist Chris Bianchi about the situation in Pagosa Springs. I mean, they have just gotten deluge after deluge of rain when I feel like rain really hasn't been the story anywhere else in Colorado.
Exactly right, Kyle. And it's as if you took a giant straw. Think about one of those supersized straws and you had that connected from the San Juans to the Pacific Ocean. That's what's been going on. We've got an area low pressure off to our west, high pressure off to our east, and we've been stuck in this persistent weather pattern, and we've had the remnants of Hurricane Priscilla and a little bit of the remnants of Tropical Storm Raymond move through. All that collectively, we've had some astronomical rain totals, and unfortunately, that pattern has not broken down yet, so a flood watch continues for us in southwestern Colorado. A little good news, though. We aren't seeing a ton of action there right now, just a few rain, snow showers for us in the San Juans, but this is nothing like what they even saw last night, and certainly nothing like what they saw back on Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday here in the southwestern corner of the state. Unfortunately, though, we will see some more unneeded rainfall for us across the San Juans and east east into the Sangre de Cristos. In Denver, we'll stay dry tonight. It's a quiet evening for us weather-wise. A little patchy morning fog possible tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll be talking about some showers and storms developing for us tomorrow afternoon. A few of the short-range models getting a bit more bullish on the possibility of the Denver area seeing some storms tomorrow afternoon. Could include a severe storm or two, which is a little unusual this time of year. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Otherwise, 7-day forecast. We'll have some storms around for both tomorrow and for Thursday. Then we dry out and then gradually warm up. We'll be in the mid-70s by Sunday, but then next week, trending on the cooler side.
Higher ed is in trouble these days, increasingly viewed as too expensive, not as useful, and elitist. I sat down with John Marshall, president of Colorado Mesa University in Grand Junction, to talk about those issues, as well as Colorado Mesa's unconventional bet that a marketing campaign making fun of higher ed might convince more kids to give their university a try. Here's a look.
Welcome to Featherstone University, or FU for short.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Did you say FU?
Yes, FU.
F me?
No, honey.
FU.
Keep your comments to the end, this way. Here at Featherstone, everything is available to you. Want straight A's but hate going to class? Not a problem. A well-placed gesture from your family
Hi, Daddy.
can smooth the way and ensure your success. Why work hard when you can just be privileged? Efficient. I meant efficient.
Looking for something more real?
Yes.
Come to Colorado Mesa University.
Who said that?
We care about who you are, not who you know.
Higher ed's not an industry that's known for having a great sense of humor, and so my hope is that we can have a little bit of a sense of humor. But the topic is deadly serious. It is something that we need to address. For those students who are an average kid in high school who maybe doesn't know exactly what they want to do, maybe they don't have a 4.0, but they have the potential and the promise and the ability to go on and be the leaders that we all need. We have got to have them in terms of solving our complexities of the future.
Kids who are not going to be offered admission to the elite universities and are choosing between a college track and a non-college track. Do I have that?
I think you've hit it head on. The reality is that the kind of kids that are going off to these elite institutions are by definition a very small part of the population. What we're talking about are first generation college kids. At CMU, half of our students are first in their family to go to college. There's a breakdown right now, and think about higher ed as being one half of this social contract with the working class that says, if you come here, we're going to give you an opportunity for a better life. We're going to give you an opportunity to improve life for your family. And I think as students and kids have seen that break down and they say, well, shoot, like $100,000 a year at some of these institutions? Like $100,000 a year? Are we serious? In what world? I mean, if you can afford $100,000 a year for college, you don't need college, right? The reality is that if we can't find something that is affordable first, that families can see as accessible, and then when they get there, they feel welcome, right? Because I think that's the other implicit piece of this.
The conversation around higher ed, the conversation around everything these days is so politicized.
Yeah.
And it's often viewed through ideological terms.
I'm glad you brought that up. I actually think this is a really odd time in our culture where literally any topic we're trying to jam into this weird partisan binary.
Sports, music,
everything.
It's everything.
Everything. Yeah. And in some respects, I think what a lot of families are saying is, can't I just send my kids somewhere where they can be taught how to think, not be forced into what to believe, where they can afford it, where they feel welcome, and they get an education, when they don't have to take a loyalty oath to some kind of ideological worldview in order to come here. I think the reality is that is true in a lot of universities right now. And so what we're trying to do is say, look, I don't care who you voted for in the last election. In the front row of this hypothetical classroom, we'd like to be able to see a Black Lives Matter t-shirt and a MAGA hat sitting right next to each other, both free to ask questions, both not being ushered to the back or being denigrated in some way for their views, but rather a place where kids can learn how to think critically and frankly be exposed to difficult ideas. That's fundamentally what an education should be.
Colorado Mesa is launching a whole social media campaign around this fictional Featherstone University. CMU decided to spend more of its marketing budget than usual on making that high-end spot as opposed to spending that money on buying airtime for the ad because they're hoping that a different approach is going to get attention in different places. You can see my full unedited conversation with the CMU president, John Marshall, on the next YouTube channel. A rock spent its days targeting unsuspecting drivers. Well, guess what? Now it's gone. But friends, I tell you, the problem is not the rock. That's next. A rock of the Aurora community is gone. The rock in the parking lot median at Mississippi and Potomac. The rock that had taken out so many cars it got its own Google landmark page. Its story went viral when a local television newscast with questionable judgment dedicated an entire segment to the rock's history of destruction. It's ignominious, and it is rocking drivers taking their safety for granted.
I know there is a tally on the rock.
This rock in a parking lot in Aurora has a wild body count. Whoa, how'd they let him say that on TV? It keeps bumping and grinding with passing cars and trucks. This is very inappropriate, but it's better now that the locally famous Mississippi rock has been removed from the median where it claimed cars, trucks. Oh fuck, that's a fuck ambulance on the rock. Well, not anymore, wise guy. No fucking trouble today. We spotted their ambulance make it safely around the median. But other vehicles clipped the curb. Just a bump now that the rocky road's been removed.
First of all, I'm blown away. How do you not see two great big 2-ton boulders?
But plenty of drivers apparently don't.
They assume it's grass, you know, and they just like it, and then they figure out there's two big boulders in it.
The property manager told us he was sick of the $1,000 bill for the forklift and labor every time they had to put the rock back after a completely avoidable crash.
My father is blind on that side. Wears an eye patch. Can perfectly avoid them every time. I don't understand why it's so hard.
Just be warned, that rock is gone. But the kind of drivers who would high center their vehicles on an obvious rock, they're still on the roads.
The menace remains. Back with your feedback next. The most Colorado thing we saw today, a reminder that bears are hungry this time of year and they do not respect private property rights. Lynn sent us doorbell camera video. She says they were on vacation when the bear broke into their place in Evergreen, went straight for the kitchen and the pantry, and then left with a basket full of candy, a takeaway bag. If you see something that just feels like Colorado to you, send it our way. Email next@9news.com or text it to 303-871-1491. David has feedback tonight on our interview with CMU President John Marshall. He says, we have a crisis of critical thinking. David writes, I support any university that above football programs and social endeavors puts its weight behind the teaching of simple, critical thinking. That, critical thinking, was the very simple name of the single best course that I took at Ithaca College. The professor who taught it, Ben Crane, just retired this year. So shout out to you, Professor Crane, the folks at CMU, and everybody else who's putting critical thinking first and foremost. See you next time.